They've not played the Bloodseeker yet this patch, so they are still reaching out. They are expanding their repertoire a little bit, which is good for them.
I think every team has to after what Zai demonstrated when Team
Yeah,
Secret started running it.
the Disruptor's good against the Bloodseeker though. Just knock him back. Get away from me, you stupid blood man.
Stop touching me. No. The only thing I'm a little bit worried is like how you're gonna build this. So is HellRaisers like are they gonna have Magnus prioritize like guarding Greaves, that type of item? Because I would like to see some sort of sustain against the Bloodseeker.
They did that last time. I think
Yeah.
there's no reason to not do it again.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. But it's also a case like we don't know 100% this is a Phonic Magnus, remember, because Kisani does play it as well.
Mm-hmm. Wind Ranger's really hurt by Bloodseeker as well. It's
Yes.
a good counter pick.
I mean, ultimately, like when you're playing support Wind Ranger, which is what I'm expecting this to be, you don't really play in the same way, right? So like with a core Wind Ranger, you get seen, you get ruptured, and like you should be seen because you're usually pushing waves or whatever. A support Wind Ranger rushes a Blink Dagger and just kind of ambushes you all the time. So that you might like still be able to play your game to an extent. Also, I think Bloodseeker has too many targets now. Like you want the mag removed from the fight because RP's a threat, but now also the troll because you know you can basically make him kill himself with battle trance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the troll's still a good pick, but
Interesting that got through actually over the Lifestealer ban.
I would have banned the troll over the Lifestealer.
Yeah, I think troll's still such a potent pick. Like there aren't many lanes that necessarily beat troll, and it all comes down to I think a lot of popular offlaners are melee heroes for a start, and you have that miss chance on troll, so trading is easy. And
So
also he has the disruptor.
So what mid do you think HellRaisers? They're banning out the Invoker. I would expect them to ban out Queen of Pains, reasonable against Ember.
So if you're facing off against the Ember, I wouldn't mind something like maybe a Void Spirit for HellRaisers right now. If they want
Void Spirit's good
to have mag as free. Yeah, I think it's really good against the Bloodseeker. Like it can be very hard for him to catch you. Ember as well. Like it's kind of a I think Ember versus Void Spirit, everyone would probably define it as a skill based matchup. Like it's very variable who comes out atop on that lane. And they both have similar limitations in terms of like the ability to gank in the mid game, right? They're both reliant on these cooldowns with spirits and with the astral steps. TB ban not too surprising either. Like decent against the troll.
They're just banning out the mega carries. Ultimately.
Yeah. I mean, TB is just the go-to, right? Like, I'm not gonna say there's no such thing as a bad TB game, but I'd say in the last like 2 or 3 months, it's been proven as very difficult to find one. Like this hero is ridiculous. Can you name me another hero that can go to jungle at level 2 and not be considered trolling?
You can do it almost with an anti-mage sometimes.
Level 2 as an anti-mage.
No, well, no, not really.
You
can do it almost.
I swear to God, yeah. How close is almost, Dan? Because at the end of the stream, I will pull us into a match with me as a coach, and I will watch you level 2 anti-mage jungle, and I will watch
You'll have a bad
reports.
time. Yeah, they're going for the Storm. Storm would have been a good pick here.
Yep, Storm, like it's fairly decent against the Ember. Also, like it's just a very easy way of sniping out the Enchantress and the Rubik, and Bloodseeker is very limited in how you can deal with it. Real question is like where HellRaisers do want to like. I'm really curious because you could run the mag mid here and you could just accelerate past the Ember. I just feel like they maybe want more active of a mid. Okay, so they are going to do this. They're going to put mag in the mid and then a bad in the off lane. Actually, to be fair, that's not even certain. This could be a Wind Ranger mid. I don't know if you want to do that against an Ember though, because he'll just poke you down with the Sleight of Fist build.
I don't think I love a bad and support here though.
I was thinking like maybe as a 4, but yeah, I think you're right. Like ultimately, it should be Wind Ranger 4. Abandon's really wonky. Like he can work as a 5. He's really obnoxious, but it just doesn't have the upside it used to when you could deny yourself. Right? It's kind of weird that I feel like there's just a very subtle, underhanded message being sent to players that every hero in the game is not allowed to kill themselves except techies.
They could just pick Void here again. Void's not a bad pick.
You don't really have a combo at all if you go face.
You don't, but you can control.
Could go spec.
The troll. You can control the Magnus. It depends on.
All right, they will.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I think they were down to like Faceless Void or Spec, but even if you go Spec, you're against the Magnus and the Troll. Ultimately,
I don't think Spectre would have been a bad pick, but it's not.
no. It's
You
like,
don't love it
which way
against.
do you want to play? Like, if you're picking Spec, you're assuming you're going to be ahead. Whereas Void's kind of like, you can get late game and you can chrono this troll and kill him. Right? Whereas a Spectre doesn't have that sort of control.
Mm-hmm.
I guess also Bloodseeker's Bloodright is pretty good in the early
It
chronos.
combos with Chrono, and and Enchantress is reasonable outside of Chrono as well. She can pump out a lot of damage if she gets the room. And she can do that into a Chrono.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the go-to is like early chronos, Bloodseeker, Faces Void, and then like Ember's probably going to do a Sleight of Fist max build, and then you can poke. Don't know if he's going to prioritize many points into the chains early, just because you're against an Abaddon as the game transitions out of the laning phase. I am curious to see what Lil's going to be able to do on this Wind Ranger, especially against that top lane combo, because you are a squishy hero, and Enchantress isn't impervious to like rebuttal, but when your laning partner is an Abaddon, you don't necessarily have the lockdown.
Very limited lockdown.
You have to
I
land
think
a
this
shackle
Void's going to
shot.
have a good lane.
That's it.
I mean, obviously they can click him and silence him with the Abaddon stuff, but even though that's rough, you
Sure,
just walk away.
That's the thing, right? Like, you shackle shot him. Think how long shackle shot is, like 2 and then 2.6 seconds. So in 2.6 seconds, even as a fast hero that Abaddon is, he has to move from creeps to wherever the Enchantress is and then start clicking her.
Yeah, it's
Even
going
then.
to be a good lane for the Void.
Yeah. I think between those two, like, it can get very volatile, though. Like, Lil does have the advantage of Wind Run, but Celery has the advantage of, look, I have another creep. Lol, hell bear clap, you dead.
I think Ember and Mag will have reasonable lanes. I mean, Mag has a good lane against Ember, but it's not.
I mean, Mag, like, this is another weird one, right? It's like I've discussed this with people recently. Is there really a game where Mag has a bad time? Like a bad
No,
lane?
not really.
Especially as a
Sometimes.
mid. Like, he'll
I've
just
seen
farm.
it.
You've seen it.
He's
but,
going to
like,
farm whatever happens.
that's the thing. Like when you say you've seen it, what you've seen is he's left the lane and farm jungle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
It's a fine time.
exactly. And then, like, if that does happen in this game, for example, they have a Wind Ranger that can sit mid, then gets a quick 6, maybe gets enough gold to pick up a quick javelin, and all of a sudden you have another pick-off type hero.
Exactly. But I think this is going to be relatively stable laning phase. Who do you think's ahead here? I like Viking GG's draft. I think they're going to be able to control this troll pretty effectively. They've got a lot of stuff on him. Control and kite.
All right, I'm a throw some your way because I feel like we're always going Viking. You definitely are going Viking.
I am.
So I'm gonna do the other side. I'm gonna go angry eyebrows here. Like, let me show you what they have. So,
And what do you think they have?
well, they're gonna be able to accelerate the farm a lot quicker. They also have individual like pick off potential with the Wind Ranger. If you look at the ultimate, they don't have to necessarily stack their ults to find kills on these heroes, right? It's like, I don't think the cooldowns are going to limit them, and that's something that Viking are going to be hurt by, is that when Chrono isn't available, if they haven't got a big fat Ember at that point, like in the first 20 minutes, in that window, without a Chrono, like, your pick-off is a little bit weak, a little bit worrisome, because I do believe his Ember is likely to go for, like, maybe 1 point in chains max, possibly 2.
It depends what you can do with the Bloodseeker, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got so much Bloodseeker control, and Rupture's going to be really effective against both the Troll, I think, and the Wind Ranger. I don't know. I think it's close. I don't think it's an outdraft. I mean, last game wasn't that much of an outdraft. Viking just made it hard for themselves because they had to play in such a specific way. I think this game, both teams feel like relatively even in terms of what they can do.
And here's the hard part. I don't know if I should keep leaning HellRaisers and we'll do like a for and against argument thing. Because what I do want to point out is that HellRaisers have little to no sustain against the Bloodseeker. So from a laning pressure perspective, they get these heroes low, Bloodseeker goes zoom zoom.
He's going to go... He could go mad this game, actually.
Also, this top lane's damage output should be very limited because you're going to be zoned away by the Bloodrights and the Feybolts. So, like, I don't really see a world in which the heroes on Viking die in this top lane. They would have to heavily misplace themselves, let's say.
Well,
What I mean by
the
that
Disruptor
is
is
why am I
such a
down?
defensive support as well.
Yes and no. I think like this lane against the right heroes with Thunderstrike's kind of intermittent slows and the whirling axes, there's like from level 2 there is potential to kill people, just not these heroes.
No.
In a different game, in a different world. And I think I just heard that train. I knew I left the door open.
I couldn't hear it. You're fine.
Now I just sound like a crazy person. The trains!
Yeah, I did worry that you were going mad.
What can I say? These too much pigeon analysis will do that to everyone. They don't pay me for my brain.
Normally.
If they did, they wouldn't pay much. Oh, this ghost is so frustrating. Well,
It's a nasty little guy.
yeah,
He's dead
it's
now. It's fine.
yeah, it doesn't last long. That's the crux, right? With Enchantress, like once you get level 2 enchant, it starts to get a bit spicy. But before that, it's just like it's just a quickie and I'm off, right? So when you're in Enchantress this situation, you sit there and go, oh man, I kind of feel bad now because the ghost would have been really good at level 3. So now you're gonna pray that another ghost comes up. I had this as a
Could get
doom last night where I was running around for like 5 minutes trying to find a centaur creep. Like these type of heroes can really get frustrating to play if you
They can,
get
yeah.
unlucky on the creeps.
He could take the Kobold four-man, walk around really fast.
Ah, the classic.
I love that little guy. He
Yep.
is the biggest G in Dota, I think, the Kobold foreman.
I think like a Doom is a perfect example, right? Like if you're gonna play post-war Doom, like try picking that up when you've got any sort of hero that's issue is mobility, and all of a sudden you can just very easily win the lane because you're just zooming.
He's a good one to have it towards the end when you start to go with auras because you can get him and the little wolfman.
Oh
Alpha
yes,
Wolf.
the Alpha Wolf is like always the gold standard, right? So when I was doing a lot of post-war Doom, when everyone was, it was like if you found that creep, GG, you kind of just won. Like it is the new version of, you remember the old like GG definition for Doom is if I find the Satyr creep. If I find the one
Yeah.
that Celly has right now, GG, I win the game.
That
Then
creep
it
is just mad good.
Yes, it's still pretty good, but like the crit wolf just surpassed because you started boots on a Doom and then you just ran him down. I agree, definitely,
definitely.
for like an Ench though. Any creep that has castables is better.
Yeah, certainly. If you're a Doom, you've got no mana.
Funnick might be dead.
Funnick is
Yeah,
looking,
he has to.
He's
He
not
has
dead,
to
but
ferry
he's
fire.
looking.
If he didn't ferry fire there, he would have got Hadouken board and killed. So that seemed to identify that he needed to do that.
Got the Mind Stealer.
Oh god. I mean, you would have preferred the purge now that you see that there's a point and wind run from Lil, because then it's just
Yeah.
like he tries to run away. Uh-oh, dead. You take it. How's the mid lane looking? So far they're pretty even. A few more denies for Kasani. You kind of expect that though. Like you've just got the superior firepower of the Empower.
Yeah, you'd expect Kasani to eke out slightly ahead here in this lane.
And then you should farm better. And boom, like he has done what I was expecting. He's maxed out the Flame Guard. He does have a cheeky point in games. But it's all about, I need to be able to relatively keep up with the mag. If you go for like a Sleight of Fist max build, the only time you do that, yeah, because he's got bottle. That's it. I think he just wants to force the charges. And he's about to get 6 as well, so he'll be able to go back on a Remnant. But like the only time you max out Sleight of Fist is if you see a hero that can't fall back to jungle, right? So I'm gonna call him out because the only person I can think of recently done AA mid is like Dendi. If Dendi picked an AA and you're an Ember, you max out Sleight of Fist because you can't do anything else but sit on the lane. RP looks like he was beat to 6. Skewer back under the tower. He said, "You were so happy here before, boom. It won't be the first blood, but it will be a kill." The first blood actually went to Duraccio in the top lane as there was a trade. And Toby, oh, nope, no mana. Can't throw out the axes.
Very low.
The irony of a Bloodseeker of all heroes being low on HP is not lost on me.
Yeah, if only the other team had a Bloodseeker.
Oh, no, let's not get into that discussion of like mirror matchups. Oh, good lord. I think League
Yeah,
even
that was
removed it because it was so dumb. I think there's maybe a very short phase where their rank system had it. Or maybe I'm wrong on that.
It started off in Overwatch where there were no Overwatch can have mirror matchups, of course, but
Oh, yeah,
where there
that's
are no
very good.
even within the same team, you could have the same.
Oh
heroes.
god, don't get me started on the Overwatch rules. I feel like I have to like, honestly, I'd have to chug 50 of these cans and then headbutt the table before I can make sense of what they're doing. But let's not screw over my opportunities of one day maybe get hired by Blizzard, even though it's not going to happen. Let's
They're
just
not
say
listening,
they
to
made
be fair.
peculiar
Well,
choices.
They're always listening, Blizzard.
They're busy watching the heroes of the Storm tournaments. They make up, the staff members make up half of the 20 people watching that tournament. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm just kidding. They don't even believe in their scene. That's why they killed it. Oof.
I think it killed itself, to be fair.
It was a bit of both. Remember that game was... So here's the... Okay, this is a little TED Talks moment or whatever. Like, we really do turn this into a podcast. It's fun. Guess fun it will die, but there's the part that isn't a podcast. But look at it like this, right? At the same time that Heroes of the Storm decided they wanted to be more competitive, Hearthstone decided to... Like they literally... I think they probably said that the game was too serious and they wanted to be more casual. So imagine this. You have one game that is like really good as a casual beginner game. That's Heroes of Storm. You could actually have the most players on a MOBA out of all the MOBAs because you have like ease of access, right? You're the entry MOBA. And then you have Hearthstone, which is like extremely competitive, fantastic competitive game. And then they start RNGifying it. They start introducing really dumb stuff to make it more casual. Is it me, or does it feel like the project leads for those projects walked into the wrong meetings?
Well, what meetings do you think they walked into?
Well, I think the Hearthstone guy walked into the Heroes of the Storm one. The Heroes of the Storm one walked into the Hearth. And there's like one went,
I see what you're
game
saying.
needs to be more competitive. And the other one went, game needs to be more casual. And everyone in the room just went, I don't know why he's doing this, but he is our boss.
Send the wrong messages. Do you think that's how game studios work? Just someone walks into a room and goes, make it like this. I think it's more...
That's what the very crap, terrible, like middle-aged and didn't adapt to the world product managers do, yes. Because product managers, like, sometimes they're almost like salespeople sometimes. Because they're trying to represent what the client wants, right? That's too much nerdy talk. That's not even fun memification of mocking Blizzard now. Now we're getting corporate.
Shad.
Will be a kill.
Easy
Batten,
kill.
I mean, this is the second time where I'm going to say it. Like, Funnick is not having a good game. The difference in this one is he has to have a good game. Like, last time you're a mag, right? Like, last time you're like an RP and you're scary. This game... Oh, I pressed borrow time. Don't touch me. 10 seconds later. Why am I dead? Like, you've got the Dispel, don't get me wrong. But I don't know if you know this, Dan, but Dispels don't work very well against Chrono.
Did they not?
No,
I thought they might have.
one day, maybe.
I'm never sure. One day it'll be buffed.
Notice I call them Dispels because I use Dota language, not cleansers.
That could be a cleanse. Very stable, this game. It's very quiet. Couple of kills here. Toby's going on
getting
top.
angry. Yeah. See, look. Toby has a cleanse. He tried to cleanse Disruptor of all his HP and failed. See how that could be misused?
It could be. I mean, only if you're being very convoluted on your use of words, but never mind.
So the opportunity was there, as Kaysani will find his opportunity to go for an RP. But it's a waste. Boom was able to move away. Kaysani barely lives to fight another day. He will not be fighting on this evening.
Viking are going to slowly pull ahead if it stays like this. I mean, obviously with the Magnus, they can start to kind of farm pretty heavily. But Viking have 3 cores who can do stuff around the map effectively.
Sure.
This current state of the game does not favour them.
Yeah, I think it's what it comes down to is, like we've discussed on Mag before, and we've discussed them all day, with like certain heroes that simplify or complicate and are easy or whatever. And the thing about Magnus is, while there is opportunity for like high skill plays and it is a complicated hero at times, I say at times for a good reason, because when you break down this hero, it simplifies your game a lot. Like, look, Troll has a free battlefield, right? It's why it's been a pretty dominant Victor pick in like tier 2 and tier 3 games. So like, Lil gets flopped. Now with that tower, they're gonna look. They're
gonna take the mid tower, which is pretty important for them.
Kaysani is like, I will walk.
I don't think they get Kasani here. I think he's fine.
No,
but
he will live. Or
maybe
will he?
not.
Oh, the rocks. The rock spam is a little bit over the top. End just bit up more than she can chew. And when
Nice.
Phonic arrive and they need to retreat. So they didn't even finish the tower. The catapult should do
They're
the
still
rest of
going
the
to
work.
get it. The catapult should get it.
Nope, denied.
But it
Half the
denies it.
goal.
But they still get the tower. That's still map
Oh.
control, which is important.
Duratio mad. Duratio click. Duratio root. Oh, good lord.
That was good.
No, meanwhile, Shad is like, I could have chronoed, but would have done nothing because we don't have a combo. This is that window we were talking about. Like you mentioned, like you can see Viking pulling ahead. This is like do or die moment. HellRaisers can start like pressuring. I think if they do, this map could get very tiny for Viking very quick.
Well, especially since the Void's gone for a Midas. I mean, Midas is always reasonable at Void because he loves the attack speed so much, but
You need something though, right? Like look at your lineup.
you need
where's
another
your,
item.
Where's your accelerant if you don't build a Midas?
yeah, you certainly need it. But they are going to be not the most fighty core for a little while.
No, definitely not. I don't think you often pick Faceless Void to be a fighting core, right? Like we talk about these combos, but they're usually weak combos these days that are like padding for when you come online. So like think Jakira, right? You have a macro power with a Chrome. It's good. That is all that will be said. It's good. Baden
It
is
is
looking
good.
like a sad boy.
They're
You know,
gonna
Phonic
take
was
this abandon
starting,
down.
he was starting to have a good game, wasn't he? When he left this lane.
He was
Just
starting
when
to
he
feel
comes
hope.
back.
He was
There is
beginning,
no
his
hope.
little face was lighting up. He was getting colour back in his cheeks. He was like a poor little Oliver Twist orphan for so long. And now
Instead, he just looks like the type of hero that would sing "Cut My Life into Pieces" over and over again. He's gonna
he's the
pull
Oliver
that hood.
Twist who lives with Fagin.
There you go. He's gonna pull the hood further over him and then just get a little bit darker and a little bit more sorrowful.
He's one of the more emo heroes in Abaddon.
He is. There's that. It's the set that I think. No, it's not that sword that's from. It's like a very thin sword. It's kind of a Japanese style one. But it makes him look really kind of emo-y as well. He's got a weird haircut. Can't remember the name of it now. But like, yeah, even his cosmetics, is my point, is supporting this idea. Not that we're categorizing people into like
Oh,
appearance
you
and what
should-
they are. Because if we were
You
doing
should
that,
never judge a book by your cover.
because if we were doing that, then like we'd look at Duratio and go, look, Twitch chat. Got him. I'm sorry, guys.
You did get him.
There is one or two trolls in there, though. I think trolls get a bad rap, really.
Do you think like the species of trolls?
Yeah, they're not bad people.
No, they're not. Well, are trolls people? I suppose they're people.
I mean, like, how do you define people? What is people?
I don't know. I mean, trolls aren't real. Let's get this out of the way. I don't know if you're some sort of troll truther who believes that there's a
Whoa.
mythical race of trolls who live underground.
Have you?
I
When was
don't
the
know
last
who I'm
time you
talking
went
to.
under a bridge? Excuse me.
That's
Like
true.
That's kobolds. You don't even know what species you're talking about or stereotyping against right now.
Trolls can live underground.
Yeah, but they live under bridges usually, or
They do
or
mainly
in
live under
swamps.
bridges or in swamps. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. What I'm saying is that this game is looking pretty good for Viking GG.
Nice. Came back to that again.
It's the most. That's the sort of incredible ability
Simple,
to bring it back
crisp.
to the game.
It's like we went on we strolled down the trail of improv, and now we've arrived back. And let me give you my tuned analysis. Viking good. Good.
It is good. If they're ahead against a Magnus, then they're doing reasonably well.
What celery just feeds?
Yeah.
It's a bad sign when you rupture a Wind Ranger and she just stands there. Like if you're still going in at that moment, like you're basically calling his bluff, right? It's like there ain't nobody here to help. Oh, there was someone here to help you.
Yeah. He's going for that Yules.
Chad?
They're gonna go for the.
I don't know if he has the damage. He needs to burst them.
He thinks he does.
Like the Ember, maybe. Like, oh, the Shack Shot's good though. He'll be able to get no battle trance actually. So yeah, they'll have him. Reinforce coming in, however, Baden is there to save the day, and boom, needs to back away. And you don't have a that looked like a risky kill to begin with.
He's very tanky, this troll. He's got Sanjan Yasha. He's level 12.
And has a rain drop.
Got a
as
lot of
well.
armor. He's 26 armor.
Like think of it like this, right? If you're Viking and you get that kill, what's your immediate play after that? Because I don't think you're strong enough to Roche. The creep wave's pushed out.
be fair, getting a kill on their position 1 is
Yes.
a play in of itself.
Exactly.
Like, that's worthwhile to do.
But it's
But-
but notice how hard of a kill it is, and you had to use your big ultimate to even try.
I think if they'd got the kill, it would have been worthwhile, but they probably slightly
Oh.
misinterpreted.
This is how you use your ultimate. Admittedly, they have a few more, but this is how you use your ultimates. I mean, they pinged
Yeah, you can
Duraccio
actually
now,
kill her.
but they don't have a Chrono this time, and he has Battle Trance again. TP out. Sayonara! Oh, no, look what we found. 3 heroes versus 1. Who will win? It is a troll. He is ruptured. All right.
I think he's going to be...
I think if he's okay right now. Shad needs to be careful of the roots. Uh-oh. They switch targets well, but the mischance is going to come into effect. It's going to work well enough. The power shot doesn't really help, and it looks like Duraccio
took a
is
long
going to die.
time. If
I mean,
there'd been
that's
any... I suppose they knew that there were no TPs because they were all down
No.
bottom because they TP'd in the Magnus kill.
And it's the
But
outpost,
if there was a
right?
single TP, then that was not going to be good for them.
Yeah, and the other thing is they have an outpost TP2, right? So they can't get more than 1 hero there quickly. And as long as a Baden is showing, you're confident to keep going. That actually sounds like a snake. The only problem is, like, you do get this kill. I think it evens out because you failed with the Chrono, right? So now you know you're not getting the objective, but it's almost like you got a partial refund on something you broke.
Yeah, but it took a little while. I mean, the Chrono's only 30 seconds away, so they can do something with it.
The question is
little
whether
bit.
HellRaisers is going to have a new item to play with at that point.
He's going for a BKB as well, so he does want to fight.
And speaking of fighting, Disruptor in the bot lane gets found. Abaddon as well. Ah, yes. This is the easy life. Just press R and heal up.
You don't even have to press R.
I mean, I'd
You
advise.
can just...
Because if he pressed it sooner, he would have looked a bit more healthy. They don't have RP either, so they don't want to fight. Wind Ranger in a bit of trouble. Kick. Kick. Just testing his Blink Dagger. That's fine. I think they thought the Ember was going to Remnant in there. Which would have been very ballsy of him to begin with. But they get some space.
Could have been a little bit.
And Shad now has that BKB, by the way. The only problem is Troll is really close to this Basher. And if you think of that last engagement attempt top, like imagine that again with Viking's new items and now Duraccio's Basher complete.
Yeah, if it had a Basher in that fight, he came very, very close to killing him.
Like the only limitation that stopped him is he did not get a single root. Well, if you have a chance for either root or bash, and the root's going to force out a BKB, you still have this bash with a higher chance than root anyway. Basically, folks, bash are real good.
It is a good item.
Yep. All melee
Void's
heroes should
got
got it.
Chrono. He's fishing, I think. They're looking for this Disruptor.
They
But
need to get the
they
disruptor.
missed Sleight of Chains, which is not the most ideal way to start a fight.
Are they going to try this again? Because I'm pretty sure they tried this with Lil before. Oh, they actually baited him well. That's much better. However, Reinforce coming in. RP now, this turnaround opportunity. Ratchet goes in. Static Storm is down. And they catch the 2. Faceless Void already gone. And Ember not long for this world either. Slight Fist to buy a bit of time, but the outcome does not change.
They were not expecting that. That's the sort of play where you jump out of your seat. It's like, crap. I was not... They were feeling good. They were killing Lil. They were not expecting to get RP'd. And Static Stormed there.
Oh,
It's a good team fight.
The thing I was going to
They're
say
going to take Roche.
is like, is it me or did they just bait themselves the exact same? Like, I know bait is on later today, but I think we just saw them here because they've done it again in the same exact location. They did actually just find a casual pickoff onto the Disruptor, and apparently Toby really wants to die. See, this is the problem with being a Bloodseeker.
is
You go
not
so
good.
goddamn fast. Root jump in, Duraccio's just trying to finish this off.
This is gonna be a
across the
bite.
control. Boom. Who's going to get the hands on it? Aegis gets picked up by K-Sign. Boom will just have to move away. With his final remnant, he does need to be a little bit careful. Not ideal. They did want to have that Aegis on the troll, but
We're going to get the Wind Ranger, but that was not ideal because you bought back for that. You bought back for very, very little.
yes. And also...
I mean, you bought back for Lil, which is close to Lil.
Yeah, close.
It's a similar word.
We're doing good with the web plays. That one was not a little bait from Lil.
Yeah, there we go.
But it was. Because he pinged the wards. So really, how much was he worth? 257 gold. They had to buy back. He's now going to go back and D-ward. Get XP for that as well. He's not worth much XP because he's 4 levels behind Boom. Yeah, you take that. Still got the Aegis now and your Magnus as well. He can frontline.
In that fight when they lost up top by the tier 2 tower, did Shad not use his BKB?
He didn't get a chance.
Oh, was he killed
He was
before he could?
he's RP'd, and then
RP'd.
like the Ember lasted a second longer because they basically prioritized the Void. Like they
Void.
done it the other way around, then Faceless Void can BKB. This man cannot BKB though. He also try and buy some time, but it won't be enough.
It was nasty.
That's the dieback as well. I mean, Boom is like, look at his item choice. He actually needs a BKB, but even then, he could easily get caught out by an RP or a bash. Like this Ember game has completely fallen apart. This is the volatility. Like you fail twice, and then a Magnus lineup not only kills you but keeps on farming. They're wasting a lot of time chasing Celery though. This is, if he finds this Corey, I swear to God. Okay, he's gonna eventually go down. You'd think, but nope. So I can't help but feel that time would have been better spent approaching a tower right now. Like the tier 1 maybe.
They feel pretty safe on the troll, I think. I think they've got confidence in his late game.
Yeah, it's just a case like how you're efficiently using your time, right? Like just because you can go later doesn't mean you want to. We always see players harp on about how dangerous and unexpected late game Dota is. And you don't want to go there against the Faceless Void anyway.
And also, you've got to remember the HellRaisers last game. Obviously, they won in the late game, but they had a significantly better late game draft, and they were still losing fights when they shouldn't have been. So, if this game does go late, even if technically HellRaisers have the advantage, I think Viking GG can surprise a lot of people with how coordinated and well structured their late game play is.
Sure. I think like what HellRaisers just kind of presented is how overly focused on the importance of each aspect of Vikings lineup they are, right? Like that chase for an Ench killable things. An Ench you can't go and cut the wave. She can't really do anything in that area. She's just kind of wasting your time. They still get across for an objective though because they just shove in lanes so quickly. But it's all about like sometimes when you break down some of the best Dota, those few extra seconds are actually quite definitive. I think it's something like we as a community started to notice more when certain casters mentioned it and when certain players mention things like, you remember BTS when they had one of the Beyond Summits and Quinn broke down how he lost mid lane because of a glyph. And it's like, what? But that's so simple. But like, it is simple, but it's a ripple effect, right? Every small thing affects what comes next. And it builds up.
Certainly. And if it's like if you lose mid lane as a mid laner, you're not going to necessarily lose the game. It's just another aspect of what turns one lost game into a one game or vice versa.
Nongrata off the mark this time. The Static Storm did not find the target. The RP looks good on the 2. Trying to bring them down quick enough. Time walk away by Shad. Has got the BKB and the Chrono to work with. And Kisani's BKB running out soon. Will skew across the chase on his Toby. And Dyrachyo activates the Battle Trance, chasing forward with the Dust Reveal on the Celery. There's no way out for him. And Shad needs to be careful. He gets bashed straight away. Now we have to throw out the Chrono. I don't know if he has the damage though. They need to retreat from this. There's still a wand as well. Aquatic Shield also. Dyrachyo chased in, looking for a target. RP was stolen by Aramis, but it's just to slow down Magnus and allow the rest to retreat. But look at Abaddon on the side. He does find one. Blink forward. Kaysani has the control to get the kill. And they'll move forward. Funnick does go down, but it's a trade of the off lane is followed up by Shad finally falling. And Boom, without mana, has to retreat. On the side, however, they will find the final cherry on top of the cake as they do eliminate the Rubik. Dyrachyo gets just a little bit richer.
It's a good fight for HellRaisers there. Just
Back
not
to back.
quite enough damage on the Void. I mean, when he gets this MKB, he might be looking slightly better, but you need to be able to kill a hero in your Chrono at the moment. He's not able to do that.
Yeah, and this kill isn't going to get easier, right? Because he already had the Reaver. He's going to have to Satanic complete as well. Like, Dyrachyo's looking to diversify his portfolio, right? Like, he's not investing everything in Apple here, okay? He's like, I need lifesteal outside of my ultimate. If I have that sustain in this like sustain race with a Faceless Void, I come out on top every time.
Oh yeah, certainly.
And I am just a little bit concerned that unless you like, I think if you're Viking now, you need pick off after pick off, right? You need to flip kill to kill. So
They need to play the fights well.
yeah, well, I don't think they even like the fights need to not be 5v5s. I think for them, they need to try and find pickoffs like non-grata, right? When he died at the start, it seems good, but because the rest of your team's caught out of location because they're trying to back up your players in Ember, all of a sudden it turns to crap in an instant.
That fight, well, I think when they look back at that fight and then analyze it, that one up there, they'll probably say that Shad used his BKB poorly. He kind of used it when he wasn't being focused by any spells at all, and then there weren't spells that did anything to him while he had it. So he could have used it slightly later and then had a more effective, probably after the chrono, and then had a more effective rest of the fight. And I think they'll also say that they probably prioritized the wrong targets.
Yeah, like they're not wrong about this disruptor and his importance, but his importance is to the Ember, right? He's ruining Boom's game. The ones that are ruining Faceless Void's game are totally different targets, and you have to weigh up like whether eliminating that target and the effort it's maybe going to take is worth it to allow Boom to play his game. Like, how much damage is he contributing to these fights? Because I feel like right now, Toby's contributing more to the fights than Boom's able to.
Yeah, Toby's contributing a lot.
And Lil's going to contribute more. He just got his Blink Dagger, and they're going to make a smoke play with it. If they find Void, he's just going to evaporate.
I think Void's fine.
Yeah, Viking.
They know vaguely where he is, but he's a while back.
Well, they saw the mag. Like, I think they saw the mag moving across around mid, maybe.
Well,
But-
I mean, there's no one on the map right now, and they've got pretty reasonable vision.
Yeah, if Toby, like, I think their logic is if Toby hasn't been jumped bot, they must be top, right? If Boom hasn't seen them farm in their camp, they're very obviously at our camp. And if you look at the vision game from HellRaisers, they have clearly staked their priority. Like, this sector of the map is of utmost importance. They know that the second Roche is the one that will allow them to break Viking's base. But the MKB is now complete on Shad. So if you are Viking, you want a chrono into a Roche situation. So you won't look to make a play for at least 20 seconds more because you know that it can't spawn for at least that amount of time.
He's going to do a lot of damage in chrono
Oh.
now.
Diraccio, they pinged him. I don't think you can enter on the troll though. A rupture him to try and remove him from the fight a little bit. Lil brought down to half HP, so goddamn squishy right now. Shackle shot is out for Celery, but they find the kill in the win range, and all of a sudden HellRaisers need to retreat. Non-Grata will look for the TP away. Will be successful. That means he's leaving someone behind.
Still got
Diraccio is going to
chrono.
need help. Kisani still has the RP though. And there's the battle trance, jump in. No, the chrono catches onto Kisani mid-animation on the RP, and they will be able to bring down the troll, but they need to kite him out for the moment. Toby trying to move away, first hit bash, Glimmer Cape, so he can retreat, and Diraccio, he has the right idea. He sees creeps, he hits creeps. This is one of those situations where a lot of boss want to do that. Movement in, Shad trying to do the damage to bring him down, will be able to do so, and all of a sudden, it was a clutch moment. Kisani not able to get that RP off, and that should mean a decisive victory in this fight for Viking. If you hang around as the side of HellRaisers, this is going to backfire quickly without your troll. Oh, Static Storm down. Catches on to 2. It's just a retreating Static Storm, though. They can't afford this. Kisani's being stopped from
feels
RPing the
fine.
entire time. Boom. Looking to move away. Able to do so. Bandit's going to be brought down. Now the focus fire. The Shackle shot doesn't land on the Boom. Glimmer Cape to get him away, but there's a dust. RP. No! Boom! He dodges it perfectly, and all of a sudden, Kisani's
play.
the one that needs to run away. Toby says, hello, I might not hit hard, but I move fast, I give vision, and I will allow Shad to kill you off. Funnick, his buyback will be for nothing. In fact, he will just get another death added on to that 6th death score, as he will be the final
Jesus.
casualty as HellRaisers get team
Dieback
wiped,
as well.
and this game completely flips on its back.
That was just a perfectly played fight by Viking. Absolutely. They dodged his RP, Void uses his BKB at the correct... Well, he doesn't even need to use his BKB because he dodges every single fight, every single spell. They played perfectly there.
I mean, they're both dodging everything. The Vikings should rename themselves Viking and Ninjas right now, because these reflexes on these boys. I mean, you
And
said
they killed Lil so early, and Lil is a lot of their control outside of Static Storm.
Also Celery, right? Celery doesn't care if Lil's removed because the troll doesn't want to take the time, neither does the Magnus. So the only one who's really eliminating this Ench is Lil. And he built this Blink Dagger to be first in and first in control. But that positioning felt weird to me. Like, he does get caught out ahead of the rest of his team. It's almost like he's trying to bodyguard the troll, and the Rupture forces him to play too far forward.
They were pretty spread out as well. Troll kind of moved up towards top lane, and then everyone else was at the bottom of Roche, and it just felt a little desynchronous.
Now things in this game begin to look a little asynchronous as Viking are beginning to look in control. HellRaisers, they do still have this, formidable 2 right clickers in their lineup, but Viking, they're getting to this stage where this 1 right clicker might just be enough. The troll is still a hard kill. That's something we always have to keep in mind. but he's not an impossible one anymore.
He is a really hard kill. But if they chrono him now, they can kill him, I think, in a chrono.
I think they wait until like half HP. I've heard Chrono. It's a good ability.
Yeah, but they're not gonna. Previously, it felt like whatever. I mean, obviously, if they'd chronoed him on 0 HP, he would have died. But if they chrono him on half HP, now he feels
There you
killable.
go. You know, I like to re-envision names. I feel like we should refer to Chrono as the big purple bubble of danger.
Perfect bubble of danger.
Big purple.
It's more of a bubble of safety, though. It depends.
I mean,
on who
if your support
perspective is.
faces void, yes.
Yes, that's true.
If you're doing it Slass's way, 100%, it's a bubble of safety. So next time you chrono your teammates and they ask, what the hell are you doing? Like, if you are Chrysalis and Dendy jumps in, and you're like, Dendy, what are you doing? You go, bubble of safety.
Safety bubble.
They're all melee heroes. Bubble of safety.
Everyone feels safe in the bubble.
Except those who don't.
That's
Phonic
true.
does not feel safe at all.
Yeah, but they're
Like-
not going to bubble him, I don't think.
It's like, it's reached that point, boys. Buying time. Buying stocks in time. All my investments into time. Did not get a good return on it.
And I push the tier 2.
Yeah, and obviously Shad has so much more mobility now, right? Because he took the time warp talents. He's able to actually arrive at these fights so much quicker. So that kind of discombobulation between, oh, is Toby moving really fast? Or, oh, we have an Ember Spirit isn't really there for them. Which I like, because it just means that the initiation is in sync.
Yeah. Yeah, they can... I
Good
think
instinct,
Viking
not-
GG,
not
they're very much... Not the Naughty's boy band. They're able to play around each other much more effectively than...
Which fits into the
They have been
philosophy we talked
previously.
about, right? Like, that's always what we're looking for, is this synergistic element. And I think it was something we talked about before the series with Unique in the last series. Is they have these individual players that we've seen play well together. But if I was to measure the big difference between them and Viking, is that Viking, it's almost like they're just all on the same wavelength. It's like they can feel what the other wants to do. And that comes with longevity of playing together. It's
They're
definitely
very
something.
happy to group quite early. as
Yes, and it's something like the HellRaisers will get with time. But right now, you can see that they're just going to keep getting picked like this. Like Nombrada's gone. Bot lane, Duraccio. I got to force a fight with him, but with the Rupture, he needs to be careful. He does activate the Battle Trance, gets the root, but the Yules to control him up will allow Toby to move away. Now they can just cut him out. They've got the Aegis to play with, so they don't really care too much about him. He's trying to tank to heal up. It's not going to be good enough. Yules. Ah, don't you just love how stats resistance is not affected by this from that item?
He was miles away from anywhere useful to be.
Yeah. It's a rough one,
Very
right? Because this
unfortunate.
game, like, I think for so long Trolls played on this premise that I'm not killable. And we already said that doesn't remain true anymore. Like, believe it or not, the Bloodseeker is the one that will ensure his kill every time, because Rupture is able to drag his health below the threshold.
Exactly.
Kisani?
If they rupture him and just wait for his ult to fade, then they can chrono him when he's at half H and kill him.
Exactly. Kisani's gone as well. Like, they're just... You see how clean it is, the move across. Like, they're not moving without an idea in mind. They're not leaving empty-handed each time. Because HellRaisers understand that with this Aegis in the hands of the Faceless Void, their best friend is Split Push. But it's becoming very quickly the frenemy.
They're making such good use of this stolen glimpse as well. Although I
Ruben.
suppose he just
And these Yulesers as well. Like,
shielded it off.
honestly, these Yulesers are so ridiculously good this game. Like, we already mentioned Latrell, right? Because you build us with status resistance, and Yules doesn't care about that. But also against the Abaddon. Also against like things like the Wind Ranger, the Wind Run doesn't matter anymore. Obviously, at this point, you've got the MKB for that as well. But, you know, I can't think of a game I've seen in a while that has so much value in double Yules. Like, I would be totally fine with Rubik picking up one as well. Oh, wait, yeah, he's already got one as well. Yeah, so there you go. Triple
Yeah, they've got
Yules.
so many Yules.
Celery, where's your Yules, bro? Come on.
They've got
Don't let
3
the boys
Yules.
down.
They've got one on Ember, they've got one on Bloodseeker, and they've got one on Amaramis as well.
Exactly. Like,
There's so many.
I want to see one on Celery. I think you can actually, like, it's stupidly good in this game. Because Trollers refuse to build a BKB. Trolls rarely ever build status resistance and a BKB. So once you see this build, I feel like I don't want to tell this to people because if I see any of my pub games, I'm going to hate them. Just build Yules. It's like, I think Yules is the broken item at the moment, actually.
Yeah, especially against Troll. Not in every context.
I
many
think it's like
contexts.
when you think of it as like an accessible item, what it gives you, like if you look at the stats right now, movement speed is always good. It's a hell of a lot of mana regen. Like it helps heroes that have issues in that role. I think that's why it's so good on Bloodseeker offlane. And it obviously is free setup for your blood right. But it's the only time where I feel dicey about seeing Yules is when you're against the Void Spirit, right? Because it's free setup. Like if you're using it defensive, you're setting up for the Void Spirit to kill you. Or heroes like Underlord as well.
Yeah. Here yours is perfect until Non-Grata gets an Ags, which is somewhat far off to be
A long
currently.
way off.
It's a twinkle in his eye currently about Ags.
We haven't seen the Van score confidence. He hasn't queued it up yet. He's just got sentries for days is the plan.
You know,
That boy had some
Someone-
confidence. He was like, I'm a spirit. Like, was it a spirit breaker thing? He's like, I'm a building an
Ags. Never did.
Hey, it's a good item on that hero if you can get it. Same with the Disruptor, but Pipe Dream, my friend, Pipe Dream. He's at least got
But
his
an
Philosopher's
Ags would
Stone.
make a huge difference, obviously, to them here. But I don't think they're going to prioritize him.
Yeah, so that's like a fair point, is that we already highlighted how they're reliant with the Yules. They're also reliant with the Faceless Voice BKB. If you look at his health, it's not much to stare at, right? You can see him very quickly disappear in a fight if he gets stunned. Like actually, for example, if he got Shackle Shard, 3.8 second duration, he's dead. I think he'd honestly be there with the troll on top of him.
Close to it, yeah. But he does have a lot of armor with the AC. He's got 34 armor.
But then look at Troll's damage. Then equate
Huge
bashes as well. Because you have to, keep in mind that's an extra 70 damage. No, sorry, 100 damage.
There's smoke here.
Yep,
I'm
it's
going
gonna
to
break.
find...
Ongrai gets rooted up. Static Storm goes down on the Boom, but they're not in position to follow this up right now. The Trackers off the mark. The RP, they're going in. They want this kill. Can they get through it in time? It's going to be close, but Boom, he gets the Yules out. The Yules on Duratio controls him up. The Remnant away. The Rupture's going to come out. It does get reflected in the meantime with Toby, so he can't really run for the meantime. Jump in with the Abyssal. Straight away with the Satanic. Trying to go in. The Chrono's going to come out the Yules as well. Working not against them, though, because they clean up the Wind Ranger and turn around on the Troll next as well. He's already used the Battle Trance. He's run low on HP. He fights with Shad, but it's not good enough. They bring him down, they turn around, they look to clean up everyone on HellRaisers. As Magnus is trying to run for the high hills, they are scouting, but they can't find him.
I'll drop
However,
the gem as well.
yep, and they're just outside your base. So they're going to come for a second lane here, 100%.
Troll's got no buyback.
Nope. You just don't, you can't, right? Like, it's almost as if it seems careless, but then you think of the state of the game and where he's at. He has to have every item he can get. He can't afford to have buyback. He's not expected to lose any of these fights. In this case, Sani's going to lose the final fight of this bout here. They'll look to end
I think
the
this
game.
might be game. Yeah, it's game. GG.
1-1 apiece between Viking and HellRaisers. So Viking, they're keeping it cool with a 3-1 score at the end of their first day participation. HellRaisers, Science alive, but I mean, I don't know about you. I felt like as this game went on, usually you're used to saying like mag plus whatever, there's 2 right-click carries, right? They're both going to do a lot of work. Didn't feel like in this game. It almost felt like Magnus barely could stand and fight. He just had to RP and then follow up.
Yeah, he had some good RPs, but a couple of bad ones. I think that this game really hinged on that fight where they managed to kill the troll, and HellRaisers were just fighting kind of one by one. They started almost 2 separate fights they didn't need to do. As soon as that troll died, they should have just left it behind, and then maybe this game is a different thing. But Viking just were able to entirely change the momentum based off one fight and carry it really well forwards, which is what they do very well. I think Viking, they control their destiny very well. If they have an advantage, they're good at pushing it.
They're also very good at micro adjustments, right? Because let's be totally honest, that final fight wasn't a clean start. Like they started off with Toby rupturing himself, and that meant that Troll could be like kited easily. But even in that situation, like the way they kind of layered their spells, the way they kind of controlled the fights with Yules and removing certain targets was really impressive. And I mean, I'm gonna say again, it's Yules gaming. If there was one thing,
Yules gaming.
if there's one thing I'd use to define this match, it was really Yules, because that was, I think, before they have those Yules online like that, this game did look HellRaisers favored. They were playing really well.
Yeah, really favored. But that's about execution. That's what I was saying, that it's very easy to count Viking GG out based on HellRaisers having a good late game lineup, but they're just very, very well coordinated playing late game. We saw in that almost 2-hour game against Alliance where they were coordinating perfectly in their late game fights, and just Alliance managed to ride it out. But I think Viking GG know how to play fights really well, and they know how to coordinate their movements really well towards the late game, and that's what they did in this game well, effectively, I think.
We'll have to see if they can keep that up in the days to come, as they're going to be playing tomorrow to open day against Khan. But we ain't done here, folks. No, we're only halfway through. Because next up, we're going to have Khan versus Mudgolems. That is the Fada 33 stack with Skitter, Milan, and Baranya in it. I'm pretty... I don't know about you guys. It's been a long time since we've seen some Neta. He is a god, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. But we're only halfway through the day. There's plenty of dotes to come. Go get yourself one of these. Be back in just a few minutes when we'll return for Khan versus Mudgolem.